back to the subject of reaction. Faith, your faith, my faith, is not what we say of God, not how cleverly we can arrange sacred phrases, but what we do not do when appearances bark at the door. Faith is shown by your reaction. And the day you find yourself not reacting, not because you bit your lip, but because something within you has gone still, that day there is a click. Do you see? The click is that split second in which effort falls off like an old coat and non-reaction stands without posing. It is not your nobility. It is not your discipline. It is that something beyond thought that has touched you, and in that touch appearances lose their hypnotic power. You are present, but you are not available to the storm. Now, listen closely. God isn't mind. God isn't even soul. Nobody knows what God is. Take no thought for your life, said the Master. And we have turned that into a career of religious thinking. Nobody by taking thought can contact God. So why keep arranging thoughts? Why keep polishing statements as if God were a committee to be convinced? Be still and know that I am God. Not be still and then argue with God. Not be still and then manipulate a condition. Be still and know that knowing does not come by syllogism. It does not come by rehearsing truth until you believe you own it. It comes as a hush that descends without your bidding. It comes as that click, and in that instant your hands fall from the steering wheel of the universe. All right, let us set our intention plainly. No method, just the click. We are not here to manage appearances. We are here to wait for the inner utterance. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. The Lord's Spirit is not your willpower in a religious coat. It is an invisible that governs when you no longer try to. So we will not practice techniques to pry open heaven. We will let the moment of God announce itself. And when it does, reaction is over and struggle is over. The appearances may still parade, but the parade has no marshal in you. Never enter the case humanly. Never. Do not go into your neighbor's body with advice, nor into your child's career with fear, nor into the nation's quarrel with sides. You are not hired by appearances. You are not counsel for either litigant in the court of sense. It is I. Be not afraid. If that presence is the only identity, then there are not two sides awaiting your vote. We are not here to change an appearance. We are here to let the invisible govern the appearance. And if you cannot yet feel that invisible, be silent until you can. Say nothing, do nothing. This kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. Fasting, yes, from our beloved methods, from our righteous opinions, from our urgent timing. You will know the click because the effort to be spiritual ceases. There is no more staging of patience. The words run out of breath before your tongue can form them, and yet peace stands attentive. The same letters, the same bills, the same diagnosis may present themselves, but there is no responder in you. The bait is without a fish. Peace, be still, was spoken not to the sea alone, but to the reactive mind that would lash the sea with oars. When the click comes, you do not secure an outcome. You are entered into a government not your own. So we begin here, you see, not with a toolbox, but with surrender, not with a program, but with a pause. We will measure nothing by how quickly appearances bow, but by how deeply reaction subsides. If you find yourself grasping for an answer, stop. Return to the one willingness to be still until the click comes. Then, and only then, let your next step be taken by the one who knows it. Now we take up the middle path, the only path by which the click appears. We neither fear, love, nor hate any appearance. Do you see that? The moment you fear an appearance, you confess a power apart from God. The moment you hate an appearance, you enthrone it as an enemy. And the moment you love an appearance, you bow to an idol, for you have given it a life and a permanence it never had. Faith is revealed right there in that refusal to react. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Righteous judgment is not a better human evaluation. It is the recognition that there is only one identity, Christ, and that all the pictures that rise and fall on the screen of sense have no authority to command your heart. So you will not enter the case humanly, not for capital and not for labor. You will not take the side of spouse A or spouse B. You're not dealing with a good side and a bad side. You're not even dealing with two people. Christ is the only identity, and we stand with that. If the one that engaged you wants to win, that is their business. Your business is principle. No man can serve two masters. If you serve personality, you must fear, love, or hate. If you serve principle, you rest. And in that rest, the click can find you because you have ceased sounding alarms to your nervous system and you have stopped crowning saviors in the form of favorable headlines. All right, let us call the whole human scene what the Master called it, a temptation. Resist not evil, he said, not because evil is to be coddled, but because resistance acknowledges it as law. The devil took him to a high mountain and showed him kingdoms, outcomes, solutions on demand, and he would not bow. That is our work. Not to bow to the diagnosis, to the bonus check, to the flattering letter, or to the threatening letter. My kingdom is not of this world. When you accept that, even for a breath, the world loses its hooks in you and you are free to be still. And in that stillness, yes, that click comes. Therefore, take this mantra into your nerves. Never desire to change appearances. Never. Never desire to keep appearances. Never. Be willing that God deal with the appearances as God will. Thy will be done. Not as resignation, but as righteous judgment. Let patience have her perfect work. Let maturity bring to light. If the storm must rage another hour while your heart falls quiet, let it. If the sun breaks through and the promotion arrives, let it. Neither fear, love, nor hate. Keep your eye single, and the body shall be full of light, not because you arrange the weather, but because you refuse to worship it. This is how to read appearances correctly, you see. Treat every scene as a page turned by an invisible hand and refuse to seize the book. Stand in principle. Say within yourself, softly, I will not enter the case. Christ is the only identity here. Then wait. The doorway is non-reaction, and through that doorway the click comes the split second of silence that renders the picture powerless and restores the government to the one who never lost it. Now, what is this click and what is it not? Let us take the idols off the altar first. It is not a brilliant thought, however holy the words on its wings. It is not a verse that you hurl like a spear at the circumstance. It is not a surge of will dressed in reverent language. Do you see? Take no thought for your life, said the Master. And yet we have made a business of taking thought, of combing scripture for ammunition, of polishing affirmations until our tongues shine. Nobody by taking thought can contact God. The click is not thought at all. It is the split second in which thought has no office, no authority, no breath, and in that hallowed vacancy, something that is not you and yet is nearer than breathing brushes your awareness. After the fire, a still small voice, wrote the prophet, not the wind, not the earthquake, not the fire silence, and then a hush that is not of man. This kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. Let us translate that into the life of the Spirit. Prayer here is not speech. Prayer is stillness. Prayer is the attitude that says, I will not enter the case humanly. I will not ask. I will not bargain. I will not promise. And fasting from what? From our beloved statements of truth. Fasting from the desire to make truth do our will. fasting from the compulsion to be right, to be quick, to be praised for the rightness and quickness. We forget all the truth we ever knew, not because truth is false, but because the mind that hoards truth cannot hear truth. Lay it down. If necessary, lay down God is love as a phrase so that love itself may stand up in you without a name. You remember, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, not run with your favorite slogan, stand still. The click is unsayable contact. You cannot order it, you cannot perform it, you cannot own it. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof. So is every one that is born of the Spirit. You hear the sound, you cannot chart the wind. If you announce, I will sit 15 minutes and secure my click, you have already lost it, for you have turned the holy into a contract with time. If you boast, I had a click and now I'll have another by noon, the ego has already taken its trophy and the contact has withdrawn behind the veil of your self-importance. The click does not belong to a personality. It is not the ornament of the mystic. It is the absence of the mystic. It is the moment in which I can of mine own self do nothing, ceases to be a verse, and becomes the condition of your being. Now, because we are so trained to measure, we want to know, what does the click accomplish? Be very still with this. The click does not promise an outcome. It is not a lever to wrench a cure from reluctant heavens or to fetch a contract from a reluctant board. It births a presence, and presence orders the scene without your managing. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Do you see the order? Seek the kingdom, not the things, and then let the things be added or removed as the kingdom decrees. After the click, perhaps the body changes, perhaps it does not at once. Perhaps the phone rings and the quarrel softens. Perhaps the silence continues and your inner stance becomes like a mountain. But the measure is not in the calendar or the report. The measure is that you do not in any wise react. You are no longer bait for fear, love, or hate. The presence that appeared begins to govern, often by dissolving your urgency before it touches one atom of the scene. And when the scene does shift, it is not your doing. It is the effortless fruit of an invisible root. So, how do we come to this unsayable moment? We do not. We cease to come and we let it come. If you must do anything, do this. Forget for a breath even your finest principle. Be willing to be empty of spiritual capital. Sit without agenda. Say within yourself, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. And then be more interested in hearing than in the word spoken. If no word comes, better still, the click is usually soundless. When it arrives, you will know it, because the ambition to fix, to hurry, to take sides drops from you as if it never were. It is I, be not afraid. That is not your mind reassuring you. That is identity itself, standing up where your techniques sat. And then do not seize it. Do not run to make it. Do tricks. Let it be. Let God have its perfect work. Let maturity bring to light. The government rests upon his shoulder, not yours. And for that split second in which you are free of your shoulders, the world is safe in God and you are safe from the world. All right, then, let us be plain. We have all climbed a ladder, affirmations, visualizations, arguments with error, good rungs, good schoolmasters, but not the door. The law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ. You see, the schoolmaster is not the graduation. The ladder is not the house. You can rehearse truth until the tongue is calloused and still never touch the hush that heals. You can visualize outcomes until colors blur and still never meet presence. You can reason with error and win every debate and still walk away empty. Straight is the gate and narrow is the way. Not narrow with austerity, but narrow because nothing bulky goes through. Not even spiritual equipment goes through. Man was not made for the Sabbath, nor for methods. The Sabbath, the rest in God, was made for man. When the click comes, it will not honor your cleverness. It will honor your emptiness. Now, this will offend our piety, and it needs to. Don't turn to God for anything. God is not power to fix things. God isn't mind. God isn't even soul. Nobody knows what God is. God is the isness before the thing to be fixed appears and after it passes. Turn to God for God, and in that turning the necessity to fix dissolves. Before Abraham was, I am, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit. If you go to God to secure a better outcome, you have already crowned the appearance as law. You have made a God of healing, of provision, of safety, and then tried to hire the true to serve the idol. No, we let the idol fall of its own weight by refusing to hold it up with desire or fear. We are not here to change appearances. We are here to witness the one who is. So the maturity we seek is a single courage, to drop the toolbox and turn once decisively into silence, from method to willingness, from controlling results to consenting to God contact. Be still and know that I am God. Not be still and count breaths, not be still and bargain, be still and know. This kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. Prayer as wordless posture, fasting as laying down even our holiest notions. Close the kit, fold the charts, say within, I will not try to make truth do my will. I stand. If a word rises, fine. If none rises, finer. The click is not earned, it is allowed. And then outcome must loosen, or the silence cannot fill you. If spiritual harmony requires loss or separation, let's have it. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Translate that, be willing that even the dearest preference be surrendered to principle. If the only door to peace in a marriage or a partnership is a parting, let God have its perfect work. If union is the door, let that be so. Not even the side that hires you, not even the side you sleep beside. Christ is the only identity, and we will not serve two masters, personality and principle. We will not judge the day by gains or losses. We will measure by one thing. Did we turn, and did we refrain from taking back the wheel? You see, this is not an endless tinkering. It is one turn, not many little turns with eyes on the clock, but one decisive surrender into silence, and then awaiting that neither fears, loves, nor hates the report that follows. Put away the tools, stand still, consent to the unsayable, contact. When the click comes, it will do what no technique ever could. It will remove your need to manage, and in that holy vacancy, life will order itself by a timing not your own. Let maturity bring to light. All right, let us do this now, simply and without hurry. Sit quietly. Let the spine be easy, not rigid, as if you were being held up from within. Let the hands rest wherever they fall. Let the mouth soften. Let the eyes close or lower. There is no effort to think, and there is no effort to stop thinking. Do you see that? We are not going to manage the mind. We are not going to make weather inside the skull. Be still and know that I am God. Not be still and count. Not be still and push. Not be still and measure. Just be still. Let the breath come and go as it has since you were formed in secret. You are not here to improve. You are here to yield. Now the fasting begins, not bread, but belief. Gently one by one, set aside the truths you treasure, lay them on the altar, not as a rejection, but as an offering. This kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. We fast from our religious cleverness. Even God is love. Precious as it is, we set it down for this moment because the phrase is not the presence, and the presence will not be summoned by a phrase. If a verse rises, we bow to it and we let it pass. If a favorite assurance appears, we bless it and we let it pass. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. And we do not take yesterday's word to stand in for today's proceeding. Forget, for now, all the truth we ever knew, that the truth itself may speak where our memory sat. Then we consent, softly, within, only once. Here I am. That is enough. Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. And then stop. Do not help God. Do not ask. Do not argue. I can of mine own self do nothing. Let that be the whole posture. If thoughts come in tides, neither fear, love, nor hate them. Let them be leaves in a stream. Do not chase a single leaf. Do not frame it. Do not correct it. Judge not according to the appearance. Keep the eye single. Simply notice and let pass. When the body hums or fidgets, neither bless nor curse it. Allow the creature to be what it is while you rest where you are. We are making room. We are not manufacturing the silence. We are consenting to be found by it. Wait for nothing in particular. Wait without agenda. If there is a split second in which the inner noise drops, receive it as wind that bloweth where it listeth. If there is no such second today, remain without complaint. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Let patience have her perfect work. A few breaths more. Here I am, thy will be done. We have fasted from our holiest notions long enough to make a little space. If the click comes now, fine. If it comes later, finer. We did not beckon, we did not bargain. We simply stood aside. Let God have its perfect work. Now, before we move on, we must clear the stage on which the click appears, and we do that by shifting the target. This is not about this person. This is not about your body as a private theater of tragedy, nor about your neighbor as a special sinner, nor about that executive as a peculiar tyrant. Don't react to the appearances, and don't personalize them. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Do you see? The discord that screams for your attention rides on a universal belief, not on a personal power. The moment you look at a face and say, you did this, or at a symptom and say, this is my lot, you have crowned personality and given the mask a scepter. Never enter the case humanly. Never. Step back and say within yourself, this has nothing to do with this person or with me as a private self. This is the old hypnotism of the race, a universal belief, rising for air, and without my fear, love, or hate, it has no breath. There is only one power, not two, not a tug of war. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. God is not power among powers. God is the isness before any appearance can take shape. Therefore, infection and contagion have no law to sustain them. Scarcity has no law to perpetuate it. Hate has no law to justify it. Law is of God. What is not of God is lawless, a picture without principle. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Why? Not because you shouted it louder than the headline, not because your immune system did push-ups, but because there is only one law and nothing lawless can bind a son of God. When you see that the supposed power is without ordination, your reaction relaxes. You stop arming yourself. You stop petitioning a deity to outmuscle a phantom. You come back to the middle path, neither fear, love, nor hate any appearance, and now the clique has a cleared room in which to enter. All right, here is the quiet way we address it briefly, and then we are done. We do not argue with error. We do not prosecute or defend. We simply unmask it. Within yourself, without force, say, right now I nullify any seeming effect from a universal belief. Do you hear the impersonal tone? Not I fix this person or I conquer that germ, but I nullify any seeming effect of a belief that has no law to support it. Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. That's all. Plant nothing new with your fear. And then drop even that sentence. Don't polish it. Don't repeat it like a charm. Don't run around the garden yanking at weeds. Set it down and return at once to the silence that we have learned to love. We are not fighters. We are witnesses. We have named the mirage, and now we stop giving it our gaze. You will be tempted, of course, to peek. Is it gone yet? Don't look at your demonstration day by day. Let maturity bring to light. If there is a knot in the cord, you do not pull both ends until it shrieks. You hold it softly and wait for the looseness to show itself. So also here, having identified the impersonal nature of the disturbance, having refused to give it personality or law abide, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Dwelling means lingering without agenda. We are not timing God. We are not threatening the universe with our need. We are resting where the law is. One. I have watched this simple shift, the move from personality to principle, turn the tide in rooms rife with flu season talk, in offices trembling under rumor, in homes where it runs in the family, had become a creed, and not because I became clever with phrases, but because once the belief was seen as universal and lawless, the heat went out of the scene, the bait hung limp on the hook, and there was no fish left in us to rise. Be still and know that I am God, not the God of outcomes, the God of being. In that knowing, the click finds its way. It may be a breath only, it may be a hush that carries into the afternoon, but it will be enough, because where there is no reaction and no opponent, there is no arena. And where there is no arena, the only stands revealed. Let God have its perfect work. Stand still. The stage is clear. The knot will loosen when presence, not pressure, touches it. Now let me bear witness, not to cleverness, not to method, but to that hush we have been honoring. I have seen, and I have letters on my desk to remind me when I forget, that when we refuse to take sides and enter the silence, only that life orders itself by a wisdom without our counsel. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Not stand still and propose a plan. Stand still. There was a case on the waterfront in San Francisco, labor on one shore, management on the other, and a wide river of accusation between them. I was engaged, so they thought, by one side to help them win. Now listen, not even the side that hires you. Never. I told them plainly, I will not advise. I will not be your chaplain in the war of personalities. I will not enter the case humanly. We sat in a room that hummed with strategies and deadlines, and I excused myself into another room and shut the door. Judge not according to the appearance. It would have been easy to draft a speech, to suggest concessions, to play Solomon in the middle of a shouting match. But do you see, the middle I sought was not arithmetic, it was presence, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. So I fasted from opinion, from truth statements, from outcome, and prayed by being still. There was, after a while, that split second, thought ran out of breath, a click, and with it, a softness that did not belong to me. I returned to the table and said, nothing new, only Let the day pass without signatures. Wait. It was not popular advice, and I would not defend it. I would only refuse war. Overnight, a third way came that none of us had on our chart. An old proposal, shelved months earlier because nobody wanted to be the first to lose face, surfaced through a junior clerk who was asked to photocopy the files. No victory speeches, no defeat. A joint fund was formed that answered the outcry neither party had named correctly, and the strike dissolved without a trumpet. He maketh wars to cease under the end of the earth. Who won? Not labor, not capital, principle. Presence ordered the outcome while we kept our hands off the wheel. If the one that engaged you wants to win, that is his business. Your business is to refuse sides and to stand where the only is. Another witness. A night in Los Angeles, the call came late. He's gone too far. They've said there is nothing to do. I do not argue with physicians. They have their ministry. I only refuse to let a universal belief be crowned as law. I went, and I would not bring a single affirmation into that room. I can of mine own self do nothing. I sat by the bed, and I fasted from my impulse to plead, from my urge to say holy words, even from the tenderness that wanted to make promises to the family. Be still and know that I am God. Hours went by. The monitor complained. The air felt like a verdict. Then, near 3 a.m, there was the same small invisibility, no light, no voice, only the click, and with it a presence that requires no proof. I did not ask for breath. I did not command life. I only consented to the government that had come into the room. A minute, two, then a change. The nurse herself could not put into numbers at first. The rhythm softened, then steadied. Color returned where there had been no color. The chest rose without strain. The Spirit of God hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty hath given me life. Not petition, presence. In the days that followed, the chart brightened. But that was not our demonstration. Our demonstration was that in the absence of reaction, the race belief had no stage. Do not make a method of these nights. Do not copy the hours, the posture, the timing. The wind bloweth where it listeth. So is every one that is born of the Spirit. These are not techniques to repeat. They are witnesses that when we refuse personalities and stand with principle, when we will not hire out to either side, not even the side that hired us, presence appears. And when presence appears, appearances lose their magistrate. Your task is simple and exacting. Never enter the case humanly. Choose no side. Be still until the click overtakes you. Let maturity bring to light. Real-world transformations follow the click when we refuse sides and choose presence. That is all, and it is everything. All right, now we let the practice be as simple as breath. We are moving from problem to principle to silence. Sit as you are. Do not arrange yourself into holiness. First, name the picture without drama. Quietly, inside, say, here is an appearance of lack, or here is an appearance of illness, or here is an appearance of conflict. Only that. Judge not according to the appearance. We are not resisting. We are not indulging. We are identifying the picture as a picture, you see, so that we may stop being one of its actors. Next, depersonalize at once. This is not about me or them. This is a universal belief without law. Christ is the only identity here. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. There is only one power. There are not two. Infection, scarcity, accusation, pictures without principle. Let that recognition be gentle, not an argument. Right now, I nullify any seeming effect of a universal belief. Do not polish the sentence. Let it do its quiet work. We are not entering the case humanly. We are removing the masks and laying them on the floor where they belong. Then fall silent for a breath. Neither fear, love, nor hate the picture. Keep your eyes single. Now turn and empty. Don't turn to God for a result. Turn to God for God. Softly within, once only say, I, God, am the solution to all problems, full stop. At that period, cease speaking within, be still, and know that I am God. This is our prayer and fasting prayer as stillness. Fasting as a refusal to feed the mind more holy words. If a verse rises, bless it and let it pass. If a clever assurance appears, bow to it and let it pass. We are yielding place, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. Let the spirit have room. Wait now not for a sign, but in readiness. Listen as if for a bird you love that may or may not sing. If there is a breath that widens, receive it. If there is a warmth beneath the breastbone, receive it. If there is only the ordinary murmur of the day, receive that too. Demand nothing. In returning and rest shall ye be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. If the inner click comes a sudden ease, a weight setting down, do nothing with it. Do not make it perform. If none comes, remain untroubled. Close gently, as you would close a door in a sleeping house. Let patience have her perfect work. As you rise, measure nothing by the clock. Do not look at your demonstration day by day. Carry only this willingness. When the picture tugs, name it quietly. Depersonalize it. Turn once to the one, and then be silent. We touch the click by labeling and loosening, by listening, and then by wordless waiting. If it comes now, fine. If later, finer. Thy will be done. Let maturity bring to light. Now, after the turning and the hush, do not stand over the seed with a stopwatch. Don't watch the thermometer. Don't peer into the oven of the hour by hour. Don't look at your demonstration day by day. The kingdom of God is as if a man should cast seed into the ground and should sleep and rise night and day, and the seed should spring and grow up. He knoweth not how. Do you see that? He sleeps and rises. He does not pry. Fruit ripens unseen, and then, all at once, branch after branch bows with weight. First it is nothing to the eye, then a faint bloom. First the blade, then the ear. After that, the full corn in the ear. Stand with that rhythm and refuse the impatient audit. Our business is not to make the blade hurry into corn. Our business is to keep from bruising the field with our reactions. Let maturity bring to light. Take Saul of Tarsus as your quiet companion. Do you imagine that light on the Damascus road turned him into Paul overnight? No. 9 years he wrestled in deserts and back rooms. 9 years of inward unlearning before the public voice had authority. You don't think they can understand it that day? No. Respect gestation. If a tree were to take counsel of your anxiety, it would tear itself out by the roots. My times are in thy hand, yours too. This kind does not go out by clever words. It goes out by prayer and fasting, by the willingness to let the inner ripening take its full measure. If you taste the sweetness today and tomorrow it seems hidden, don't indict the orchard. Ripening is not a straight line. It is a quiet economy governed by an intelligence that does not consult the calendar you keep on the refrigerator. An outcome, let that loosen again and then again. If harmony requires the ending of a contract, let's have it. If peace in a house requires silence and space, let's have it. If a plan you loved must be laid on the altar, lay it down and step back. Ye have no need that any man should teach you, not even your own preference, not even the side that hires you. Your interest is only in bringing forth a spiritual activity. The scene must order itself as it will under principle. It is not for you to know the times or the seasons, which the Father hath put in his own power. Not by might, not by managing, not by clinging by consent. If the one that engaged you wishes, in the human sense, to lose, that is their business. Yours is presence. Don't turn to God for anything. Turn to God for God, and watch how the necessary reshaping happens without your fingerprints on it. How then shall we take our bearings? By one measure only, non-reaction growing. If the same headline that used to tighten your throat now meets you, and you neither fear, love, nor hate it, note that not with pride, but with quiet gratitude. If the phone does not ring, and yet there is an ease under the breastbone, if a remark that once would have cut now passes through air, that will not host a quarrel. If a whisper rises within, wait, and you find yourself willing to be led, that is enough. Let the peace of God rule in your hearts, not peace in the report first, peace ruling within, while the report takes its time to align. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. The mounting is inward before it is outward, you see. The wings are given before there is any sky to show them. So walk out of the room of practice as one who has left the lamp burning, not as one who keeps returning to tap the glass. Attend to the day without making evaluations, the hour's religion. Refuse to keep a ledger of proofs. If the mind starts to measure, bless it and let it pass. Be not weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Due season is not on your clock, it is on God's shoulder. Let patience have her perfect work. When the moment of visibility comes, it will not be a triumph of your managing. It will be the natural outflowering of a root you did not plant and cannot explain. All right, then keep to the middle path, neither fearing, loving, nor hating the pictures. Let the click govern without your commentary, and let maturity bring to light what needs to appear when it must. My times are in thy hand. That is the whole consolation, and it is enough. All right, then let us make this plain and simple enough to carry in the pocket a rule for the road. Silence over methods. Day by day, and many times a day, give 2 to 5 minutes to prayer and fasting, not asking, not arranging, but laying down even holy thought. Pray without ceasing does not mean a stream of words. It means frequent returns to the stillness in which words fall away. Sit or stand at a window or pause between doors and say within once, here I am, I can of mine own self do nothing. Then stop. Be still and know that I am God. Not be still and bargain. Let the mind be as it is. Let memory of yesterday's sweetness pass. Let the clock be God's. These are short consecrations, many and light, that keep the heart open to the click without making a shrine to time. Now take on your sacred restraints and keep them as vows. Never enter the case humanly. Never take sides, not even the side that hires you, not even the side you sleep beside. Never try to make appearances conform to your wishes. Judge not according to the appearance. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Resist the itch to diagnose, defend, persuade, or punish. Let the sentence die on your tongue. Let the gesture soften in your hand. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the gate of my lips. Each refusal to react is a fast. Each fast clears the ground for God contact. If you feel heat rising, neither fear, love, nor hate it. Stand in the middle and wait. The arena collapses when you do not enter it. Then watch for living signs, the kind that do not ask you to clap for them. A door shuts and leaves you unafraid. Another opens that nobody was leaning on. An appointment falls through and the day breathes. The nudge comes, apologize, you obey. Or, wait, you obey. Or, leave now, you obey. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Not a 10-year chart, one lamp for the next step. Do not dramatize the guidance. Do not collect it like trophies. Simply consent. Be not afraid. It is I. You will find a quiet courage rising where argument used to live, and without your managing, the field begins to order itself. Each morning renew the vow, no method, only meeting. Forget what worked yesterday. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth, present tense, out of the mouth of God. Give us this day our daily bread. Yesterday's manna breeds worms if hoarded as technique. God isn't mind. God isn't even soul. Nobody knows what God is. Don't turn to God for anything. Turn to God for God. The presence will not be hired to improve a picture. It dissolves the need to manage pictures by being itself. Present an empty room. Let the click come when it will. So this is the commission. Make silence your only method, and let the click, whenever it comes, govern your steps. Refuse haste, refuse sides, refuse the post-mortem of results. Measure by one thing only, non-reaction growing. Let the peace of God rule in your hearts. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, a lamp for this footfall, not a searchlight for the horizon. Walk the middle path, quietly, neither fearing, loving, nor hating the pictures, day by day. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof, and over every turn, lo, I am with you always. That is enough.